Hi everyone and welcome to this week's video. I am Anne and I am one half of the Sussex Handmade Soap Company along with my good friend Wayne.
Howdy do.
Howdy do, Wayne. And today we are going to create a natural soap. Again, we are going with natural colours in this one, and it's going to be using activated charcoal for a slanted base layer, and then we're going to be using Dead Sea clay, Kaolin clay, French green clay and spirulina. I think it's spirulina, possibly not. The video will tell you and the ingredients will be in the description. I've sort of forgotten what I used in this one. We have already made it. As you will see throughout the video, I was intending on using a tiger stripe for the top portion of the soap. But as you'll see, things didn't quite go to plan, and in case you can't tell, I got a little bit flustered during the making of the video, which isn't unusual for me, and there was a point when I just thought the whole soap was just going to be a mess. I am pleased to say though that I am filming this intro after we've made the soap, and actually it turned out okay. So don't just disregard it and think it's going to go wrong like I kind of did, because actually the finished soap is not half bad, even if I do say so myself. Let's have a look at the making of it. So we've begun today's soap by melting down our solid oils and then combining them with our liquid oils. And now what we're going to do is add in our cooled lye water. Both the oils and the lye water today are around 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we're going to bring this to a very light trace. Then we're going to split out 40% of the batter, which equates to about 448 grams for me. And we're going to colour that portion black, and that's going to form the base of our soap. So let's get our stick blender in now and use it to bring this to a light trace. So that's a very nice light trace now. I've kept it light because we're probably going to end up using the stick blender to blend some colours in a little bit later. So I'm going to split this now, 40% in one jug, and then the other 3 jugs are going to have 20% each. And now we're going to begin by colouring this portion in a nice dark grey black colour. We're going to use activated charcoal for that. I've got 2 grams of activated charcoal in here, which I've mixed with a little of the liquid oils from the recipe, just to kind of help it disperse a little bit better. So I'm going to pop this into here. And then I'm going to mix it in with the spatula, and because I want this to be fairly thick, because it's going to form the lower layer of our soap and we're going to need it to set up quite nicely before we can add the other layers on top, I think I'm going to blend it just a little with the stick blender just to get it to a thicker trace so that hopefully it sets up quicker for us in the mould. So that's quite nice and thick now, which hopefully means it's going to set up nicely in the mould. So we'll bring the mould in now. What I'm actually going to do today is something a little bit different. I'm going to bring in this book, and I'm just going to use this book just to raise the mould slightly. I suppose it's about an inch, just under an inch off the board there. And I'm going to pour the soap in this side so that we kind of end up with a sloping, slanted effect. And I'm just going to pour the whole lot in, just down this corner. And I'm just going to allow it to flow wherever it flows. This is going to be a soap that does its own thing, goes where it wants to go, does what it wants to do. It's natural. That's what natural things do. They just sort of do their own thing. That'll do. And then I'm going to move this all to one side, and we're going to set about colouring the layers that are going to go on top here. Oh, I shouldn't have done it like this. Let's try and move it all in one go. Whoa. And it's done. So now while we wait for that layer to set up, we're going to set about colouring these and getting them ready. For the first one, we are going for grey, and we are achieving that with Dead Sea clay. It is 2 grams of Dead Sea clay in here, which we have hydrated with some warm water. And we're just going to pop that in there like that. The second thing, or the second colour should I say, is going to be white kaolin clay. again hydrated with water, and again we are using 2 grams or perhaps 1. Do you know what? I wrote all my measurements down in that book that I'm now balancing my soap on, so it was 1 or 2 grams. I will have a check. Anyway, that's going to go in there. Typical, isn't it? Write all my ingredients and measurements down in my book and then use the book to balance the soap on, so I can't check what I used. And my memory is not good enough to be relied upon. And here we are doing a green colour, and we have got some French green clay. Again, 1 or 2 grams. And we have got, I believe it's half a gram of nettle powder as well. I'll pop all the measurements down in the actual video description, so you'll be able to see the recipe and the measurements in there anyway. Right, and now we're going to mix these in. So they're all incorporated now, and as you can see we've got a nice white colour here, we've got a light green and a light grey, and I'm hoping they're going to go together nicely on top of the black just to create a kind of, I don't even know what I'm going for. Why do I start sentences when I don't know where I'm going with them? It's just going to create a design that's pretty. There you go, that's a cop-out, but that's what it's going to create. Right, let's pull back in the mould. So there we go, that has set up now, and I'm just going to remove the book, and then I am just going to start with one colour. Doesn't matter which colour first, or does it? Let me have a think. Nope, doesn't really matter which colour we go with first. I'm going to give it a little stir, and then the plan was to do some kind of tiger stripe design. I don't know if maybe our batter's got a little bit too thick for that, but hey ho, we'll give it a go. We'll just do a very rudimentary, simple one. So we'll start with the white, then we'll go in with the green, just over the top of the white. Yeah, we are a bit thick, but we'll work with it. And then we'll go in with the grey. Oh, the grey's not quite so thick. Right, back to the white. Back to the green. This isn't really going to end up being a tiger stripe, let's be honest, the batter has got too thick. I was giving it a whiz with the stick blender, which has obviously thickened it, and that was purely, that was purely, I don't know what I'm doing, to allow the clays and the colourants to disperse in nicely, but the downside is it has thickened the batter a little much. So today, we're just going to get it in the mould and just see what happens. One of those soaps where anything could happen. Who knows how it's going to turn out. Hopefully it'll turn out, you know, nice. Might surprise us. Might turn out looking fantastic. I mean, I don't see that happening, but who knows. We're just going to keep going because we've made the batter now and it's recording and there's not a lot I can do about the batter being too thick, so we're just going to have a, I'm going to call this the splodge technique. I should have said I was doing this from the start, and then it would have, like, you know, looked like I was intending it looking like this. So splodge it all on the top, get it in, just get it in the mould. Okay, I'm completely giving up on that tiger stripe now. Now I'm just gonna get it in the mould. Just splatting it down. Now we just give the whole lot a shake and a tap. And I'm actually thinking, because I know that tiger stripe hasn't worked, I'm tempted to go in with a hanger and just sort of mush it up a bit on the inside, because we know it's not going to work, so I'm not going to be happy when I turn it out and cut it. So why not try and just swirl it another way? Let's do that. Let's see what happens. Right, I have my hanger tool out from a soap I did earlier, so I'm going to put it in and swirl it. Of course, now I can't remember which was the higher level of the black. Was the black higher at this side or that side? Oh, this must have been higher at that side. Right, who knows? Let's just go in and just sort of swirl it about a bit and just see what happens. hope that I'm not going to end up knocking into that black. This is so not going how I wanted it to, but oh well, there we go. Well, that didn't go as planned, but you know, might end up being fantastic. Right, I'm going to let it set up a bit, and then we're going to texture the top, and I think that's something I'll be able to get right, hopefully. So the soap has set up and it's time to decorate the top, and for the top I have got these really pretty little jade gemstones. I just thought they'd go really well with the green and the grey and the charcoal. I just thought they'd look so pretty. But needless to say, this whole soap isn't going to turn out like the vision in my head now. I had such a vision in my head for this one. It was going to be stunning. It's not going to look quite like the vision in my head anymore. Never mind. May look better. I doubt it. Right, we're going to use the old back of the spoon technique just to pull the soap up into the centre. Just like this. And then we're going to top the centre with those little jade gemstones. It's funny how things go though, isn't it? Because this is the third soap I've actually made today. We often try and do our videos kind of in one go because it's hard finding the time to get them all done. But anyway, I had 3 soaps in my head for today, and this was the only one I was confident about. The others I was like, oh, I don't know if it'll work, don't know if it'll work. Of course, the others have gone brilliantly. Couldn't be happy with them. It's only this one, the one I was actually confident about, that's messed me about. That's the way it goes though, isn't it? Perhaps I was overconfident. Right, there we go. Now we are going to top the bars with these pretty jade gemstones, and my mould is still just about marked out so I can see, because they are obviously not going to be able to be cut, so they need to go carefully in the centre of each bar. I was so excited when I found out we were actually allowed to use certain gemstones on the top of soaps here in the UK. I've seen people in America doing it, but I just didn't realise it was allowed in the UK because I tried to get a soap with some seashells on it certified, and that was not allowed, so I just automatically presumed that gemstones wouldn't be allowed. But I was wrong. They are. So I've got all excited and decided to bring out kind of a gemstone range that we're actually going to sell. I need to do some research into the stones because not all of them are allowed to be used on soap. Some can react with water, some can react with a batter, so I've got to look into it and see which ones I can use, but I can use these little jade ones, so they're a good place to start. And I think that looks quite pretty. Goodness knows what it looks like on the inside, but we'll find out tomorrow, won't we? And I'm going to try and make this gel as well. Natural colourants and all that, always gel my natural colourants. Popping it into an oven that's been preheated to 50 degrees but turned off before the soap goes in. That's 50 degrees centigrade as well. The oven light left on, and yeah, the soap popped in there for a good few hours, or most probably overnight. And then we'll be back in the morning, and I'm actually quite excited to see what this looks like on the inside because it's going to be as much as a surprise for me as it is for everyone else. So we'll see you then. So we're back after 48 hours with the soap that didn't quite behave as it should during the making process. And my phone's just started vibrating in the background. Yes, that is my mother calling. Mum, I'm sorry, I'm not going to answer your phone call. I'm doing a video. Can you hang up, please? You're making buzzy noises in the background. Thanks. Okay, so where were we? The soap. Yeah, during the making process it didn't quite go as planned, but we have turned it out. Sorry, my mother is putting me right off. We have turned it out, chopped it up, and this is how it's turned out. And to be honest, I am pleasantly surprised because I think if I hadn't told you guys just how much I had messed up during the making process, we could probably get away with saying it was meant to be like this. The little jade stones on the top fit in quite nicely. I'm liking the black layer and the coloured layer. The swirl has it's turned out okay. As you know, this was a bit that just didn't work during the making, but if I show you the end piece here as well, we've actually got quite a nice little swirl going on. So yeah, pleasantly surprised with how they've actually turned out today. So considering the amount of stress and frustration that these caused during the making process, I think they've turned out pretty good, and I don't think they reflect the amount of stress and frustration that went into making them. They look far too much like they're meant to look like this. Does that make sense? You know what I mean. Loving the little jade stones on top. I've got some rose quartz ones to do a similar design in pink in the future. And overall, yeah, feeling pretty happy about this design, which I really didn't expect to be feeling happy about this design about halfway through the making. I thought it was going to be a bin one, but it's not, which is great. If you do enjoy our channel, please do give us a like. Give us a subscribe. If you don't like our channel, give us a dislike. Do what you gotta do. If you want to view our website, you can do so just here. And if you want to purchase any of our soaps, you can also do so here with a 20% discount. We shall see you next week, and we shall probably be bringing out a Christmas design next week. So it's a good one. It's actually probably my favourite soap that we've made throughout the entire year. So you don't want to miss that one. We will see you then. Have a good week. Bye.
Goodbye.